Okay, let's get started. This is our Wednesday overview. If you hear a little bit of background noise, sorry. I'm at home today with the little one. If he makes a little noise in the background, I apologize. Anyway, we are here. This is our Wednesday overview call. Unfortunately, Ron Carty had some things he had to deal with, a little bit of pain in his neck, I believe. So he's not available to do the call. So I'll lead the call today. So let's get started. So we always start the calls the same way, with our mission, which is to ensure members have the greatest opportunity to become numbered among the list of cryptocurrency millionaires. And we want to provide strategies and tools to protect and grow their wealth in traditional and crypto. Obviously, most people are very interested in cryptocurrency. However, we also have significant services in terms of signals in the traditional markets. And the second piece is offering professional guidance and support as our members participate in this global shift to cryptocurrency. It's huge. So our Wednesday overview calls, and we always start with the same disclaimer for all calls. Past performance does not indicate or guarantee future performance. You could lose all or some of your money. So only risk money, especially in the cryptocurrency world, that you can be patient with and afford to lose. So always read the disclosures and speak to a professional advisor. So what's Wednesday night call purposes? Business skills, personal development, and also a lot of these calls, because there was a significant interest from the members in hands-on training on how to do things like set up accounts at exchanges and how to trade and follow the signals on Binance or Bittrex or something like that. So we split it up. It depends on the member's needs. But today we have one that's a skill. I suspect that we have a skill that everybody needs, which would be, how do you get more leads and where can you get them from, and how do you build a professional presence online? So our goal is obviously to enable you to build your future and achieve outstanding success. Let's see what questions we have before we kick this in. Yes, sorry for the background noise. So we're going to kick off this session. This is a special session with a guest speaker, of course, the Chief Executive Officer, Dan Schwartz. Melanie Miletics. She is called the LinkedIn Leads Lady. She teaches the methods for lead generation using social media. She's an educator and teacher at heart who loves to empower others with knowledge and tools they need to be successful in network marketing. We will send this link out to everybody too. There is a special site she set up just for us, which is sponsoringsuccess.com/P/3TN. So she's going to have a special offer for us. So with that, I am going to make sure she is unmuted and give her, yeah, there it is. It's in the chat. Thank you, Melanie. It's in the chat. Thank you, Melanie. And let me make sure she is unmuted. She is unmuted. So I will turn the call over to you. Go ahead, Melanie.
Awesome. And do you normally keep the video off? Because I can totally, I don't mind it being on if you've got the ability. Right, let's get started. Regardless. Folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm excited and I'm really thankful to you, Dan, for having me here let's see, stop the other screen sharing. Yes, here we go. Boom. All right, now we're here. Cool. So I am Melanie Miletics, and yes, I call myself the LinkedIn Leads Lady, but I promise you I have not always been an expert in social prospecting, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about how you can generate more leads, sales, and even referrals from a site that is very underutilized, yet is an absolute goldmine. But as I said, I haven't always been a LinkedIn Leads Lady. In fact, when I started in the home business world, I was a folk singer, a hippie folk singer at that, but I had a small child, and I was determined to be mom. So Dan, I hear the baby in the background, and it just makes me smile. So it's all good. And so I had a vision. I had a vision that was much bigger than the world that I had known before. And I saw these smiling, happy people online who were making it work, and I just knew I was going to make it work. And that's why you're here tonight, because you know that there's skills that you just don't know yet. So I hope that I'm going to turn on your vision and help you to understand that you have unlimited prospects to talk to on LinkedIn. Okay, I literally want to blow the roof off your limited idea that you don't have people to talk to, because there's literally millions of the best quality prospects. And just to give you a little idea, using what I'm sharing with you tonight, I have been very successful and very, very grateful for this industry. And in fact, I was able to raise those kids. They're both much bigger than me now. They're teenagers, but they're much bigger. I'm the little mommy. And I have been able to give them a lifestyle that, you know, I never had. And I'm really blessed that we were able to do that in this industry. And I also want to congratulate you for being here, because I always say it's best to learn from people who have been at this for a long time. Okay, my best mentors have been in the industry more than 25 years. Those are my favorite people, right? So I've been at this 17. I'm going to give you the goods tonight, and you're going to be able to walk away able to make money. This is the promise. Money making from LinkedIn. So before we get started with the training, I did put a link in the chat that you can go and grab a checklist. But I want to tell you how I came to find LinkedIn in the first place. I've enrolled more than 3,000 people from the internet, okay, using mostly free prospecting methods. I call social prospecting, and then what they began to turn something called attraction marketing, right? But about 2 years ago, almost 3, I found myself banging my head against the Facebook wall, okay? So I had done really well on Facebook. I still do, but not nearly to the extent that I had. And I'm online to do business. So I'm not there to just scroll and hope that I'm finding business. When I get online and I'm on social media, I'm literally there to find my perfect prospect, ask if they're open, and put them through the funnel, right? So I just thought to myself, there's got to be a better way. And I never, ever subscribed to the belief that, that we have, you know, we should just keep going if it's not producing results. And this seems to be the chatter. Like, people are just like, oh, just, you'll get it. Just keep doing it. But you know what? That's not true, okay? If something isn't working, you revise and you redo, right? So I went to revise and redo, because that's what I do, because this is my life and my business, and I'm not going to let it fall just because the social media landscape is changing, right? So I will tell you that when I got to LinkedIn and I found this place to be such a hotbed, like shooting fish in a barrel. I could put it so many different ways. I'm going to show you why in a moment. When you get into the system and what we're going to do here, you're going to find it to be the same. So I'm going to invite you right now to go and get the checklist that is actually at the link that I just popped into the chat, and go and get your checklist, because we're going to move through this tonight pretty quickly. You will have this recording to go back to, and there is a special offer at the end. So let's talk about why LinkedIn. Well, first of all, it is an incredibly powerful network full of professionals, and we have a saying is, you shouldn't be prospecting people that have no business being in business, right? So if you're going to go to prospect, let's say you've got 2 options. I'm going to paint a picture. You got 2 options. You can either go to the block party, right, and go by the keg and think that you might find somebody to prospect, or you go to the business networking group with your business cards in hand, ready to rock and roll, right, knowing that the people that you're going in there, first of all, they're dressed for business, so they're there to do business, and they are incredibly well networked, meaning they already have a extended sphere of influence, right? So where are you going to go find your next superstar? By the keg or at the business networking group? There's no question where you're going to go. So, and what I found was that the amount of business that is done on LinkedIn dwarfs other platforms. Now, I want you to understand that LinkedIn is definitely a recruiting platform. Okay, so, in our industry, thankfully, everybody who has a business is also a customer. That's the way it works. But it's a recruiting platform. So we're not there on a B2C or a customer acquisition, right? That's for the other networks. But we also know that true leverage in network marketing comes from recruiting other people who do the same, right? So what I love about LinkedIn is you're only going to find positive business, well, I can't say positive business people. You're only going to find business people. And they are there for one of two reasons. They are there to either sell their stuff or they're looking for opportunity. And it's just your job to figure out if they're open. Okay, so I'm going to tell you exactly how to figure out if they're open without being a spammy amateur. All right. And this was what really got me. Once I saw the results happening with my own methods that I've been using, right? But when I went and I started to do the research, I was floored. And I'm no longer floored because now I just expect it. And I want you to expect it. And that is, you get an 80% more people, like 80% of people will actually take a look at the links that you share when you ask them if they're open. They'll go through the pages. They'll actually look. And if you post something on LinkedIn on the feed, people actually click through and opt in. This is magical. Okay? LinkedIn doesn't hide your links and people actually go through the pages. Wow. It used to happen on other networks, not so much. So what I like to say is that LinkedIn is like the wild, wild west of social media. And there is gold in them there hills for those who know how to prospect. And I'm going to teach you how to prospect. So let's get going. So a little bit of a overview first. We're going to position ourselves on LinkedIn. We're going to connect with our ideal prospects. We're going to use proven scripts so that you don't come across as an amateur. And we're going to keep our profile up to date so that we are engaging our new potential prospects. Now, I'm watching this chat pop up here, and I will check into it towards the end. I'm going to go through, because there's a bit of information here, because I want you to be prepared, because the last thing that we want to do is just go dive into LinkedIn and kind of blow it, right? So I'll open the chat here real quick. It doesn't want to open for me. So first and foremost, before you do anything, I want you to get into your mind that you actually want to make a very tight niche. Now, this goes a bit against the mind. You have to learn a little bit of marketing, real marketing here. And that is, the tighter the niche, the more money you make. The more specific your marketing message, the more money you make. Now, we tend to think like, well, everyone's my prospect. Everyone needs this. I know this can help anyone. And you can. You can imagine how this is going to help the dad who's working 3 jobs, who wants time with his family, and the millennial young woman who got out of college and can't find a job, and the retiree who's been in corporate forever and doesn't, you get it. I get it. Yes. However, for you, who are you best going to connect with and convert to enroll? Okay, so this is what you want to think about. What have you done in the past? What are your hobbies? Do you volunteer? Do you have certifications that others might have that would be relevant? Are you into certain sports that others would be into? Think about these things, because you can search for more than just occupation on LinkedIn. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But the powerful thing is you can totally drill down and find your perfect prospect. Now, don't try to think, because when I ask this question, I often get, I want somebody with positive mental attitude who wants more out of life. Yeah, of course. But you're not going to be able to search that on LinkedIn, okay? What you'll be able to search is occupation, volunteer type things, sports, different things that they will have in their profile, okay? And when you ask the questions in the prospecting scripts, that's how you identify the people with PMA, positive mental attitude, right? So before you even go on LinkedIn and do your profile, think about who your perfect prospect is, because then you're going to actually create your profile to speak directly to them. And I want you to just imagine that perfect prospect is in front of you, and you want to have a conversation that draws them in, that lets them know why you are the perfect sponsor, why you're going to help them, or why the company that you're with is going to help them to get what they want out of life, right? So you're going to optimize your profile for that perfect prospect before you even go into LinkedIn. You've got to put on your suit, okay? You're going into the business networking event. You've got to put on your business clothes, okay? So that's putting on your profile. So there is absolutely a science to creating a great profile. And I'm going to pull up my friends here. And it all starts with understanding that you are using a combination of SEO and then what I think of as what's in it for me, which is what's in it for them. You want your profile to be client-facing or prospect-facing. So what that means is you are going to speak to them, letting them know what you do, why you do it better than others, what's in it for them, and then how to connect with you. And you're going to throw enough SEO in there, search engine optimization, so that people search for the terms that they will find you for, right? They can. So you're going to utilize all of the areas of your LinkedIn profile. And a big tip I can give you is you're going to write this section in the first person, so speaking to them, as in I, you, we, right? And then when you come down to your experience section, it doesn't necessarily have to be first person. It can be first, but it can also be third. And I will also add, since I'm pulling up my friend Peter's profile here, that you don't want to just go and copy paste somebody else's profile. You want to make it unique, because otherwise it all kind of jumbles together and you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. You'll just be one of many. So you make sure that your profile is optimized and it's client facing. That's critical before you go and do anything else on LinkedIn. That includes your personal info, your skills to endorse, right? Okay. So the whole purpose of that is when somebody lands on your profile, they're going to decide in about 3 seconds whether or not they want to connect with you. And if you don't have anything on your profile, why do they want to connect? You've got to make it so that they want to connect. So remember that you've got to use SEO, compelling headlines, and that you definitely want at least one of your experience areas to actually describe the business you're in. And it makes sense, right? And you want to have endorsements for relevant skills, because believe it or not, that's actually SEO too. And it should go without saying, but I figured I'd put it in here. This is not Facebook. In so many ways, it's not Facebook. But you've got to have a forward-facing picture. And with a smile, make it professional. And I would say you want to make sure it's zoomed in, okay? So you don't want something where you're like back here in your outfit and they see like half your body. You want it to be your face, okay? So make sure that your picture is professional-ish. It obviously doesn't have to be a photographer shot, but definitely don't throw what you would throw up on Facebook. That's kind of a funny way to say it, but these are, I would never put this on LinkedIn. These are mine. Now, I want to add that this profile is super important, and don't go anywhere without it, right? You wouldn't go anywhere without your pants, so don't go anywhere without your profile done. And don't make a single connection until your profile's done. But just know that it's passive. Yes, you may and I've had plenty of people tell me, thankfully, it's so awesome, that they did their profile and then they had people contact them to join them in business. Like they literally searched them out and then were in their inbox to join. Beautiful thing, right? But this is it. It's not the, don't want to say it's not the norm because I've heard it happen enough times, but it's not the golden ticket. It's not you just build your profile and sit back and put your feet up and business is going to come to you. This never works that way, okay? This is not a passive thing. And if you miss out on the rest of my presentation, you can expect next to nothing by just doing your profile. So it is very important, but it's not the only thing. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because people will charge you a fortune to overdo your profile. They'll promise you the moon, star, and sun. They'll give you some cookie cutter version of the profile, looks like everybody else's, and you'll just be left with an empty pocket. So don't listen to them, okay? Do what I'm going to tell you to do next. So the next thing we're going to do, though you would think it would be, you would think that you would be going to connect with people next, we're actually going to join groups. So let's get over here. Here on LinkedIn, and just make sure everybody can see LinkedIn now. Yep, you're seeing what I see. Good. All right. Okay, so we're on LinkedIn, and I'm going to go into this magical search thing first, okay? Because this is where you're going to start for everything. So I mentioned that you want to have your perfect prospect. So who is your perfect prospect? Now, I'm just going to come up with a fictional character that probably is somebody on this webinar because it just works out that way. But we're going to go with somebody who played football and was in the military, right? Football and military. Could be some pretty good people, right? And when we search for football and football, military, now LinkedIn's going to be slow because I have Zoom open. Come on, please go. There we go. All right, I'm coming up with 200, and let me just make sure my filters are clear. They are. Not too many, but hey, I guess maybe that's a little too, close. So let's go with military. Let's go with military. All right, now we got 3 million. So and I'm just going to stick to the football. So, oh, there we go. We got 109,000 now somehow. So let's say that was your background, right? And now you're going to look for people who are like you. You can bring this down, and you could even go and bring the locations to the United States or wherever you wanted to build. If you're in New York City, you can put New York, greater New York City area in there. And now I'm only going to see 78,000 people. Wow, that's a lot. Who have that in their profile, right? So the fact is, these people, you have something in common with them. They may or may not be open. We could do military, football, and sales. 29,000 people. All right, getting somewhere. What if I just, for the sake of it, put in Forex? What might happen? 33. You know what? That's not many, but these are probably the most targeted leads you could get if that describes you. Does that make sense? So you're going to go there to find your perfect people, okay? So now let's just go back out, because what we're going to do is, before we actually connect with them, we want to go into groups. So we're going to go search, and we're going to go for military. And instead of people, we're going to choose groups. And I found on LinkedIn some pretty massive groups. And the purpose of joining groups is that once I'm connected, once I'm in these groups, when I do a search, all 106,000 of these people can turn up in my search, and I turn up in their search. So you join the groups as part of your strategy to see an expanded search. And what I mean is that LinkedIn has got this like interesting, I'll call it interesting thing. And that is when you go to filters, you'll see you've got first, second, and third level connections. And what that means is you're only going to be able to search the people that are within your 3 levels of connection. So you want to increase that level of those connections and how many you have in your first level as quick as possible, right? So so when you add groups, you're actually going to increase the number of people you can find in search and who can find you faster. That's why that's number 1. So, and I would definitely, I'm going to add when you're talking about the groups, you want to go with ones that are active and have the most people. Seems pretty obvious, right? So like something like this would be massive, would be great. And I would just add, actually, since I'm talking military, if you do have military background, you get a free year of LinkedIn Premium. Just Google it. All right, so now we get to increase connections. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to strategically connect with our perfect prospects. You get 30,000 of them. 30,000 potential people to connect with and find out if they're open and look at your business. That's a lot of people, my friend. So we go and we find these people. What we're going to do is we're not going to just add everyone, because that would be a waste of your time, because people who don't have pictures are probably not real active on LinkedIn. And you can click through entrepreneur. That's a good heading he's got. You can click through and you can see if somebody's actually active. I'm not seeing any activity here, but he does have his profile pretty made up, so I may connect with him, right? Let's find somebody who's got some activity so I can show you what that looks like. Nope. I'm going to find him. All right, I'm going to go to some other people just for the sake of it. For time's sake, I'm going to tell you, I want to show you what it looks like when somebody's active. Oh, I can show you what it looks like when somebody is active. We're going to go to Peter. Hello. What it looks like when somebody active is that right here, you're going to see activity, okay? You're going to see activity and you're going to see followers if somebody is active. Those are the type of people that you want to connect with. And you can just come on down and hit connect if you want. It works. Or better would be you're going to send them a personalized message for the connection request. And it can be something as simple as, hey, I see that you were also in the military. I think it'd be beneficial for us to connect. Or, hey, I see you were also a nurse. I think it would be beneficial. I see you also were in medicine, are in medicine. I think it would be beneficial for us to connect, whatever it is. You just add a simple, short connectivity message. And what that looks like is you click on them, you click connect, and you'll see add a note. And you'll say something like, which I just keep on a script thing here. Oops, here we go. I just copy and paste stuff all day long. Boom, send invitation. And he's far more likely to connect because I actually included a little one-liner that said, I think it would be beneficial for us to connect, okay? Yep, you can come down here and just hit connect. Anybody who says they're with, anything to do with what you think is a good prospect. But adding a connection request message will actually get you further in life. All right. So this is something that you're going to do every single day, and you're going to rapidly grow your connections. But you're not just connecting and then leaving them hang. That's, again, is not where the money is. The money is going to be in the next step. So let's get to it. But I'll just give you an idea of the numbers, though. You're going to be filling a pipeline. And so you want to be consistent in filling this pipeline and making sure that you have a steady flow of potential connections that are going to accept so that you can start this process. I say at least 10 a day. But there's days where I'll just sit, if I'm in a waiting room, and do 100. And it's up to you. How much money do you want to make? How fast do you want to make it? So here's the key. And I want you to promise me something. You're never going to pitch on hello, okay? So what you're going to do is when they accept your connection, these people are going to be right under here, under my network. And you're going to go to see the newest connections, and you're going to send them a message. It's going to be right here that you can hit and send them a message, right? And you're going to send them a message. And here's some simple idea for a message. The point of this first message is to find out if they're active. It's not really to get the world of information out of them. But this is the same equivalent of if you walked up to somebody at the business networking group, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to ask them something about themselves, because it's always better to be interested versus interesting. And you want to get them talking. That's what this is. That's what this exchange is about. I call it the volley. We're volleying, right? They hit it back, they're alive. And if they don't respond, it doesn't matter. And I'm warning you right now, 60 to 70% of people don't even go in their inbox. If you've been on LinkedIn for some time, I bet you have a ton of connections that you've never ever responded to, right? So don't think that somebody's thinks, don't take it personally. So here's just some simple examples. Thanks for connecting. I see you also, love football as I do. Tell me, what are you hoping to get out of here on LinkedIn? Or how long have you been in, whatever industry that they're in? If they are in Forex, how long have you been trading? Whatever it is, something like that, right? So you're going to ask them a question. You're still not pitching. You're not doing anything related to selling yet. But here, listen. It doesn't take that long before you do, I promise you. When somebody connects with you, you're gonna send them a message, but you don't need to dance on LinkedIn, okay? There's no playing footsie. There's no, I have to get to know this person. I have to become their best friend before I ask them if they're open. LinkedIn, they're used to being very direct, and it's a business network. So don't dance. There is a point that I wanted to tell you though. I forgot, and I'll just give it to you real quick. When somebody connects and accepts, you're going to come down on their profile before you send them a message, and you're going to come down to their endorsement area, and you're going to find some stuff that you appreciate because it's what you want to be found for too, right? And you're just going to endorse them. And then you hit the message button to say hello, okay? And the next thing is that we're going to ask. Okay, so number one, you're going to ask them a question to determine if they're active. And when they come back, that's when you ask if they're open. So that looks like something like this. So they respond back that, yeah, they're in. I see their messages. I will definitely get to those questions, and that's a good one. The LinkedIn jail thing, by not connecting with people who aren't active, and by not connecting with people that don't have things in common with you. Don't just willy-nilly connect. Connect with people that are more likely to accept your connection. So what happens when you're at the business networking luncheon or wherever, and you've said, hey, so what is it you do? And they tell you what they do. The next question that makes sense is that they would say, hey, so what do you do, right? And regardless of whether they say it or not, because not everybody does, you're going to say, awesome, let me tell you a bit about it, what I do. So now you're going to educate them. But you're still not mentioning your company. You're still not pitching. You're simply asking if they're open. And this is an example of something that you can say, but there's definitely power in this posture, okay? So there's posture. Your posture is going to make all the difference. Posture of leadership is going to make all the difference in how you succeed on LinkedIn. So there's kind of magic to this language, okay? So you can say something like, I'm here as an international expansion leader with a company that offers an opportunity to earn an outstanding income working in cryptocurrency. If you know of anybody looking for a vehicle to increase their income, please do think to connect them with me. Given that it takes like 4 minutes to get the details, would you be open to watch a quick video so that you can better refer me? That's an indirect ask. Okay. And for some of you, your personality is going to love the indirect. And that's the way business networking works. You educate your potential referral partners, right? Knowing full well that a percentage of those people are going to grab your offer and run with it because they love it. But if not, they may well refer you. Okay. So that's an indirect ask. And then you've got the direct ask, which is, I'm here as an international expansion leader with a company that offers the opportunity to earn an outstanding income working in cryptocurrency. Would you be open to exploring what that would look like for you? Right? So that's a direct ask, same thing. Now, if they say yes, bing, 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 you have a prospect. Okay? You have a prospect. Now it's time for you to put your hat on, your actual follow-up hat, because there's three things that are gonna make or break you on LinkedIn. Your profile's awesome, you have posture in your prospecting, and you follow up like a professional. These are business people. You've got to follow up. So that's when, only after they say yes are they actually a prospect. And when they do, now it's time for you to get them to the information and book the phone call. Okay? Get on the phone, close the sale. Now, again, just remember, you never pitch on hello. You ask them a question, you ask if they're open, and then you book an appointment. That's how the pros do it. If you skip any of those steps, you're essentially just throwing stuff at a wall. You won't ever know who your real prospects are because you're just going to be dealing with people who are, maybe they looked at your link, but they didn't respond to you at all. And you just be left blowing in the wind with people versus knowing where you are, right? Now, here's the thing. I told you, I'm not, to be crystal clear, you're on LinkedIn, you make connections, you make, if you make 100 connections, 25 to 30, maybe if you've got the personalized, you can make up to 70% of those people accept, and then only 30 to 40% of those people even respond to any messages you ever send them. So there's all these people. Don't worry about it, because it's like this. It's like you went into the business networking group. You made connection with 3 amazing people who are super well connected in the community, and they're open. Do you care about the other 40 people who are weird and wishy-washy and barely even looked at you when you talked? No. Get it? You've got the highest quality prospects. Now, quality and quantity is very possible in LinkedIn. It's going to be up to you to work the numbers. But it's like, I can't, it's just recruiting up. I can put it so many different ways, my friends, but this is where your fortune lies. Now, as I said, there's going to be a certain number of people who don't respond to you in the inbox and who, they just kind of sit there. I'm going to give you what to say to people if they say no, which isn't very many people, but it happens. So, and what happens if somebody just completely goes into never land? I call it going quiet, right? After they've said yes, they'd look. I send them something that says, it looks like you have questions you'd like answered before we talk. Please take the time to watch the full overview before we talk. I just essentially spell it all out for them, allow them to crawl all over the website, get every ounce of information they would ever want. And if they get back to me, then I've got a really well-informed prospect. That's awesome. Because for whatever reason, they didn't want to book a phone call until they got more details. I'm okay with that. And you've got to be okay with that. That's called posture. Just do the right language, right? You don't say, hey, did you look yet? No. You don't say that. You say, it looks like you have questions you'd like answered before we talk. Okay, got it? All right. And if here's the magical no responses. And this will change the way you even see LinkedIn and what you're doing. What if somebody hits you back and says, you know what? Nope, I'm good. I've got my cryptocurrency advisor, whatever the heck they say, right? Okay, cool. Thank you so much for getting back to me so quickly. Let's stay connected, as our network equals our net worth, and you never know when we might be able to help one another down the road. Okay? Simple as that. Just use something that says, let's stay connected. We never know when we're going to help one another. And if they're local and you're not, and this is if you are actually networking in your community, which you really should be doing, okay? Especially when people are super hungry for this knowledge right now. You can say something like, thank you so much for getting back to me. I see you're local. I'm involved with several community networking groups. If you'd like to be my guest sometime, I'd be happy to introduce you to my professional friends. See, that's the way people act in business and on LinkedIn. Now, if you just made a connection who's local to you, they said they're not really open right now, but then you said, hey, that's cool. Shaking hands, say, well, you know what? If you'd like to be invited, I can invite you to, some events and meet some of my friends sometime. How do you think that leaves them feeling about you? This is a key. Don't forget this point. So that's the actual inboxing. But some people are literally just going to kind of like, maybe they'll just hit the button. And if you've been on LinkedIn anytime, then sometimes people just hit the button. They show up under messages. It's like says thanks, and then you can just hit a one word reply. People do that all the time. Fine. Now I'm going to market to you so that you never forget about me and I stay top of mind. Okay? And LinkedIn is beautiful for that. So I'm going to give you some key. So the first part that we just went through, and that first section, I call that the social prospecting. And you got to get really good at it, right? Because without that, you're not making any money. You've got to be able to convert the people to a prospect and then put them through your funnel to get them to the other side, to enroll them and mobilize them, right? You got to do that. You can't just skip to the next part. This is the marketing side. And this is where everybody gets real excited and they want to just market. But it's not, if you don't know how to convert the people from the marketing, there's no point to market. So you got to be able to convert those leads. And the thing is, it's not about the magical thing that you're posting. It's about the magical people who are responding to your posting. Remember that. It's not about how beautiful your meme is or how incredible your sales message was. It's about the likes, comments, and people that are responding to that post. That's where the lifeblood of your business is. And that comes back to social prospecting. You are back in their inbox, right? So here's where we go back into LinkedIn. And we're going to post into our groups. We're going to update our status at least once a day. That's another beautiful thing about LinkedIn. You don't have to post every single day. And we're going to inbox the people who like and comment. So one big warning, and not even a warning, it's please, my friends. This isn't Facebook, and please don't turn LinkedIn into Facebook. What that means is you can't take the same marketing strategy that you've been using on other social networks and just bring it over to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a business platform. And I would love to be able to show you that very, deliberately, but I'm connected to a lot of network marketers and they're trying, and you can see this is business information, right? Motivational is fine. But you'll find on LinkedIn, you'll get a lot of education pieces from, there we go, businesses, right? This makes sense. This is the kind of content you get on LinkedIn. TED, here we go, leadership. Good. All right. I was afraid I was going to get typical stuff from like Facebook. So this is, you want to remember, LinkedIn is B2B, business to business, and it's your recruiting platform. So every time you post, you have to remember you were posting to recruit. You're not posting to sell your services. You're posting to recruit. Even if you are talking about your services, you want to post it in terms of something like, with this product as one of your offerings, how much money could you make? I know it's very, very broad. It'd be more like this information is an incredibly high demand. You could have a business making money online, getting people to this information. Okay, so that you can still give the details of the product, but you're always framing it in terms of a business opportunity. So let's take a look at what I mean by that. Number one, as I said, you're going to post into your groups a couple times a week. Where are your groups? Your groups are over here. This little block of squares, right? And you're going to go click on groups. And you're going to go to my groups. And you're going to click on your groups. And you can post into them twice a week. Okay? At least twice a week. Post something. And you can take the same content and post them across multiple groups easily. Post into your groups twice a week. Once a day, you're going to post on the feed. And LinkedIn makes it easy to really vary what you're going to put in the feed. You can write a few sentences. You can put an image, right? You can write an article, which I'll get to in a second. You can upload a video. You can vary it, that's what I'm saying. And you can, if you're on your phone, you can actually go live on LinkedIn. You hit the little house and you go to the little thing, the notepad, and you can go live on video on LinkedIn. Boom. So you can go live. You can upload a video straight there. You can also upload one from your computer. And LinkedIn loves YouTube. So if you post a video in YouTube, a YouTube link, it'll actually, I'm not seeing any, but it'll actually start, here's one, I think. Or it looks something like that. They'll play right in the feed. That's not one because YouTube videos literally start playing as soon as you come across them. Like that, see? Something like that. It's pretty amazing. LinkedIn doesn't punish you for putting your links. It doesn't punish you for putting stuff to send them to other networks. LinkedIn doesn't have a goofy algorithm, though I will tell you, it's just like other platforms where if you get likes, comments, and shares, of course, you're going to have more people see your content who will follow you, who will want to connect with you. It does work that way. So in posting engaging content, asking questions is great. And you can also write articles. This is crazy. When I found this, I got jumped out of my skin. Anyone who likes to write, who has a blog or puts content anywhere, you now have a blog that is SEO'd within LinkedIn and is SEO'd from Google. Search engine optimization, okay? So if you have content elsewhere, you can literally repurpose it, put it here on LinkedIn. And I highly suggest to get used to putting articles here on a regular basis, because I'll show you how they show up on your profile. It looks like this. Your activity, right? On the left, you're going to see all your, whenever anybody lands on your profile, they're going to see all your articles here. And then they're going to see your activity over here. But your articles live there like sales pieces forever. Like, you just, look at that. It's beautiful. LinkedIn's amazing. Literally a gold mine. Sorry, I get very excited about marketing because marketing works while you sleep, right? The whole reason why we're online is because if all you were doing was going to the business networking group and then relying on old school like phone calls, like all you could do is follow up via phone call, text now, you only have so many hours in a day and you're only one human. Marketing works for you 24/7. So if you're connecting with people all over the world and you post an article at 7:00, somebody in Asia on the other side of the world can, when they come on LinkedIn, they're going to see your new content, land on it, and if there's a call to action in it, they can end up on your website going through all of the information, and then they message you, say they're ready to get going. That's what marketing does for you, 24/7. Love it. So, as I said, don't let it become Facebook though. It's B2B. Oh, and that is my beautiful cat, by the way. And I do love kale, but I'm never going to say that on LinkedIn. I'll never say never. All right, so as I said, you're going to share to your groups a couple times a week. It's going to help you to be seen as a thought leader, and you will have more people request your connection. And one of the main strategies I love to do is actually, you can schedule your content in advance so that you don't have to be on LinkedIn every day. You can use something like Buffer or Hootsuite, and Meet Edgar is another one. And LinkedIn won't show it as posted by that thing. It just shows up as native content. And one big point I want to give you here is you can go to thought leaders in your industry and go to their like articles or activity and scroll on back and find something that you probably could speak to. And you'll notice that they've got 113 likes, 4 comments. That's not the best I've seen. Some more on Tony Robbins. But if you comment or like here, right, that's going to live there. Look, that's funny. It's the same one I did before. I know, Darlene. If you comment or like here, that lives there forever. So anybody who lands on this article for some, will see you, and they could potentially want to connect with you. So I call this strategic commenting. And that's covered in the course as well. All right. So LinkedIn is a gold mine. It's absolutely, I call it, list building is gold. It's your golden list. You just got to build it. Once they're prospects, you got to take that list out of LinkedIn and make sure you're following up with them all the time, right, on another way. But know that you will be doing this work, and you're filling a funnel and a pipeline, and you just have to get to the point where you have so many people coming in the pipeline that you're not attached to the outcome, and that you have people coming through every day on a daily basis that want to do business with you. And will that take time? Yes. And I promise you that if you start this today and you think that it's some kind of microwave approach, and you start to pump the well, right? And you pump the well and you get all excited, and it's April, and it's April 20th, and you get tired, and April 21st, you put it down. What happens? The water stops. Everything stops. So it's better to stay consistent, right? And keep the water going. Because if you stop, you will never get to the point where you have people inboxing you to get started who have been watching you for 6 months, and they never even they never even responded to your inbox, right? So you are doing the work to prospect, and you're doing the work to market, and that's how you're going to get the business to come through on a consistent basis. So real quick recap here, and I will hit the questions here at the end. I got just enough minutes to do that. Want to recap for you. You want to make sure your profile is set up, make it pretty before you begin to prospect, and you're going to be able to connect with unlimited quality leads and use a targeted search. There's lots more targets that you can do, and your search will look a little different from mine because I have a LinkedIn. It doesn't matter. But you are going to have to look at that and get good at it. This is one of the most in-depth search engines that you have to find perfect prospects. And you're going to learn how to market on LinkedIn like a pro. And you got to stay engaged with your prospects. Remember, this is a professional network, and if you don't follow up, they're out. People on LinkedIn don't want to do business with amateurs. So come at this like the pro that you want to be, right? So that's exactly how the LinkedIn lead system works, to put money in your pocket on a daily basis. It's just a matter of you doing the work and trusting me. Remember, I started out, I told you, been at this 17 years, I've enrolled more than 3,000 people. So I'm asking you to link arms with me, right? Come, we have the way, just a matter of you applying. So I'm going to encourage you to do this right, right? Don't waste your time, and don't burn through your contacts. Don't get on there and do it. Don't wing this thing. If there's one thing I've done my entire career, is that I learned from experts and I mimicked them. I did what they told me to do. I didn't wing it. I didn't go into any prospecting situation unprepared. Don't wing it. Be prepared. You're going to use, instead, I'm going to ask that you're going to use instructions, some detailed instructions that are going to help you to do your profile, including a template, okay? You're going to use targeted search and get the details on how to do that more in depth. You're going to get proven scripts. You're actually going to get scripts that are proven recruiting scripts that I've been using for, I would dare say, some version of this for 17 years, right? And you're going to follow up like a champ. And you can do all of that because of Dan's incredible generosity, right? You can do all of that for just $97 when you get the LinkedIn lead system tonight with the coupon code 50 off. So if you've gone through the sponsoringsuccess.com/P-310, I'll put it in the chat again, and you use the code 50 off, then you will be able to actually get it for just $97. I'm going to paste that in there again. Oh, it pasted. I think it would be ideal for us to connect, which is silly. Hold on. And I'm going to look at these questions here. And Dan, if you're out there and you've got questions for me, I would be happy to answer you.
I had the first question that's in there. How do you stay out of LinkedIn jail, the equivalent of Facebook jail? Because I had it happen inadvertently years and years ago, and I had to send them a nice email apologizing and promising to be a good boy. And then they restored my ability to try and connect with people without having to have their email address directly. But you could share that, because clicking connect could be detrimental to your LinkedIn health, at least in my personal experience.
Yes, it definitely can be. So there's a couple of things. Number one is, if you do the search and you're connecting and you use the connection note. So people are far less likely to, let me just find somebody I'm not connected to. Okay, here's one. So people are far less likely to mark you as spam for you to get in trouble if you say, like, what her background is. I don't know who this lady is. She's going to end up being one of them. Trust me, she'll be great. I don't see anything that she used to do for a living. I'm going to pretend she's a cook. She went to Cook College. I went to Cook College, Rutgers. So if I said to her and I added a note, hey, Corey, love to connect. I also went to Rutgers. Simple as that. I could copy paste, and it doesn't have to be hard. Like, I could literally put in Rutgers, right? Rutgers, people who are in sales. And I could have it on my notepad. Hey, love to connect. I also went to Rutgers, right? And as I go and I connect with these people, I just add that one little note. That really does make all the difference. Oh, look at her. That's cool. So it makes all the difference. That's the best advice I can give you. The other thing is, if you are strategically commenting and you are active on your wall and you are, all of that stuff will also get you connection requests on your end. And the more connections that you have and the more active LinkedIn sees you, the less spammy you look. They do have bots watching all that stuff. So it's kind of a long answer, but it's worth it, because otherwise you will end up in jail and you'll be stuck. And if you go pro, you get I think it's a $69 a month membership. They're a lot more lenient, and it's worth it. How much money are you going to make if you can, connect with a couple thousand people a month on LinkedIn? I think you can do pretty darn well. That $69 is well worth it. And what else do we have? Let's see. You got any more from her, Dan? You pulled those. If you can scroll through those questions quick, we can.
Somebody said about third-party invitations.
Yeah. So third-party invitations.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that meant.
Well, I think they meant, what I think it meant is, if they're connected, if I'm connected to Dan, somebody could say, hey, I see that you're also connected to Dan. That's another good way, right? I see you're connected to Dan. A friend of Dan is a friend of mine. Something like that. I think that's what they meant. Or if they meant the third level. And don't bother with people who just have InMail, and don't bother with InMail. Like, don't bother. That just comes through for me. Comes through as just looks like it's a sales message, it's spam. So don't bother with them. Just go with people that are open to connect. All right. Cool. What else we have? Who do you know? The indirect ask. Yes, the indirect ask is ideal. And depending on your personality, that will work really, really well for you. What industry would you recommend for our own profile? Well, let's see. What do we go for, Peter? I don't know. I have to go in and edit to see the different industries. to figure out what I would choose. I'd have to edit my own profile to find it. So essentially, it'd be something like either finance or internet business, or even just marketing and advertising. That's always a good one, because you are actually in marketing and advertising, right?
Excellent. No more questions.
Awesome.
All right. Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Melanie. This was quite informative. Everybody just go to that webpage. It's in the chat a couple of times so you can find it. And if you'd like to buy it and use 50 off as the coupon code, she has agreed to take care of our members. And I'm a firm believer when we have third-party great things like this for members, that this is not a 3T way to make some money, to cut a deal that we can get a commission for doing it. This is I firmly believe the better everybody gets at marketing and learning how to do things like this, the better it is for your pocketbook. And remembering the company's view of the world is we want hundreds of thousands of paid subscribers every 4 weeks, just like you do to build your business. And this isn't about how the company can make $27 off of 57,000 members and try and get rich off of a system like this. So we appreciate that. And I want to make special thanks to Peter Ohanian. He's the one who said, hey, I met this wonderful person and I signed up and she's helping me, and LinkedIn is huge. And I've been a firm believer in LinkedIn. I mean, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, I think I have more LinkedIn connections than Facebook friends. I think my LinkedIn's 3,000 something, better than 3,000. I think my Facebook is a little less than 3,000. So I am a firm believer in the use of LinkedIn, and there's definitely new information here that's quite useful. And I like the fact, and from a member's perspective, the systematic approach, get 10 connections a day, keep doing this. There's mine. Yeah, you can. One of the things I don't do, since I've had this happen to me, I do not IDK. When it says IDK means I do not know. I never do that unless somebody spams me. If I get a real spammy connection request and I'm in a bad mood, I might say I do not know this person. But 99.9%, if somebody wants to connect, I will either agree or I will just ignore it. That's what I do. And I have a little help. I have a personal assistant who has access to both my Facebook and my LinkedIn to deal with a bunch of the minutia parts, and I can focus, and I will focus more on the recommendation Melanie made, which is continuing to post more things in my feed so it increases my profile. I get contacted through my LinkedIn to speak at conferences. I spoke at one a couple of weeks ago, and got invited to speak at another one. And that was straight through LinkedIn, doing a search, people coming to do a conference in Bangkok and saying, oh, it's in the crypto space, and here's somebody who appears reasonably knowledgeable. So with that, I'll let Melanie close it, and I want to say thank you to all the members. And last question, Gina, we're going to upload this video to your back office under webinar recordings, and it will be marked, LinkedIn Marketing with Melanie Miletics, and you'll be able to easily find it. So any parting words, Melanie, before we close?
I just want to remind you all to dream big. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you very much, Melanie. Thank you, everybody. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, corporate update call. Lots of news, lots of updates, a lot of great things happening in the company to help you explode your businesses in terms of all the new things we've added, including credit cards, which makes it easy for new people to pay who don't know how to use crypto. I'll just close on this last comment that you'll appreciate this one, probably, Melanie. Also, we teach people how to buy and hold crypto. So it made it a little hard for some people, since maybe in the whole world, there's 60, 70 million people with Bitcoin wallets, or actually 60, 70 million that exist, that people have multiple, so it's less people. And then requiring everybody to pay with crypto when you want to teach them how to use crypto. So having credit cards and the way we've done it is a good thing for people. We have a lot more to update everybody because there's still some questions from last week's update as we've been implementing. We appreciate all the hard work by the members, And our goal, especially on these Wednesday training calls, is to give you information that is useful to you that you can put into practice to grow your business, or how to trade, or how to set up an account, all those things that are necessary to be successful with us. So with that, it's a little bit after 10 on the East Coast and wherever else you may be. Thank you very much, everybody. This will get posted within the next hour. So looking forward to tomorrow, and thank you, Melanie.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.